The message came through the old communication channels that the Terran Empire had installed decades ago. It was simple. It was desperate. It read, "He is killing us. Please help." Commander Helena Vance stood on the bridge of the battleship Resolute and read the message 3 times. Her crew watched her face change from confusion to anger. The message came from Calath Prime, a world on the outer edges of the Empire. It was a planet of mixed species, home to millions of Calethians and a growing human population. The Empire had placed a Proconsul there 15 years ago to maintain order and ensure fair trade between the species. That Proconsul was Lord Marcus Dren. Helena had heard rumors about Dren for years. Whispers traveled through the fleet like a disease. They said he had become cruel. They said he had forgotten the laws of the Empire. They said he treated the Calethians like animals and took everything they had for himself. But rumors were not enough to send a fleet. The Empire needed proof. Now they had it. The message included data files. Helena's intelligence officer, Lieutenant Chun, spent hours going through them. What he found made the entire bridge crew go silent. There were records of mass executions. There were images of Calethian villages burned to ash. There were accounts of human colonists being forced to work in mines until they died. Dren had built himself a palace on the bones of innocent people. He had created his own private army and declared himself the true ruler of Calath Prime. He had betrayed everything the Terran Empire stood for. Admiral Kira Tanaka received the report within hours. She was a woman of 60 years, with gray hair and eyes that had seen 100 battles. She had fought against alien warlords and space pirates. She had defended human colonies from extinction. But nothing had prepared her for the anger she felt when she read about Dren's crimes. The Empire had given Dren power. The Empire had trusted him to protect those people. And he had used that power to become a monster. Admiral Tanaka called an emergency meeting with the High Council. The council members argued for hours. Some wanted to send diplomats first. Others wanted to wait for more information. But Tanaka stood before them with fire in her eyes and said words that would be remembered for generations. "Every day we wait," she said. "More people die. We sent that man to protect them. We are responsible for what he has done. If we do not act now, we are no better than him." The council voted. The decision was unanimous. The Imperial fleet would go to Calath Prime and end the Proconsul's rule. Helena Vance commanded the Resolute. Captain James Okonkwo commanded the Carrier Thunder. Captain Yuki Sato commanded the cruiser Silent Storm. Together with 12 more warships, they formed the strike force that would bring justice to a world that had suffered too long. The journey to Calath Prime took 3 weeks through hyperspace. During that time, Helena spoke with her crew about what they would find. She did not hide the truth from them. She told them about the mass graves. She told them about the slave camps. She told them about Dren's private army of mercenaries who had sworn loyalty to him instead of the Empire. "We are not going there to conquer," Helena told them. "We are going there to liberate. The people of Calath Prime are our people. Human and Calethian alike. They've been waiting for us. We cannot fail them." The fleet emerged from hyperspace above Calath Prime on a cold morning. The planet was beautiful from space, covered in blue oceans and green forests. But the beauty hid the horror below. Dren's forces detected them immediately. His communication officer sent an urgent message to the fleet, demanding to know why they had come without permission. Helena let Admiral Tanaka respond. The Admiral's voice was calm but firm. "Lord Marcus Dren," she said, "you are hereby stripped of your title and authority. You are charged with crimes against the citizens of the Terran Empire. Surrender yourself and your forces, or we will use all necessary power to remove you." Dren's response came quickly. He appeared on the view screen, and Helena saw a man who had been corrupted by power. He was fat and pale, dressed in robes made of expensive alien silk. His eyes were red from too much wine. He laughed at the Admiral's words. "You have no power here," he said. "This is my world now. I have an army of 50,000 soldiers. I have defense platforms in orbit. I have allies among the alien syndicates who will come to my aid. Turn your ships around, Admiral, or I will destroy you." Admiral Tanaka did not blink. "You have 1 hour to surrender." She ended the transmission. The battle began exactly 1 hour later. Dren's orbital defense platforms opened fire on the fleet. They were old weapons, installed by the Empire decades ago, and poorly maintained. The Resolute shields absorbed the first wave of attacks easily. Elena ordered her weapons officers to return fire. The first platform exploded in a ball of orange flame. The second followed moments later. Within 10 minutes, all of Dren's orbital defenses were destroyed. He had underestimated the power of the Imperial fleet. He had forgotten what real soldiers looked like. Captain Proconsul launched fires from the thunder. They swept through the atmosphere like angry wasps, targeting the mercenary bases that Dren had built around his palace. The mercenaries had never faced trained military pilots. They panicked and fled. Some tried to surrender. Others tried to fight and died quickly. On the surface, something unexpected happened. The Calithians rose up. They had been waiting for this moment for years. They had hidden weapons in their homes. They had planned their rebellion in secret. When they saw the Imperial ships in the sky, they knew their prayers had been answered. An old Calithian named Sarek led the uprising in the capital city. He was 90 years old, with 4 arms and skin the color of dark stone. He had been a teacher before Dren came. He had watched Dren's soldiers kill his students. He had buried their bodies with his own hands. Now he walked through the streets with a stolen rifle, calling others to join him. "The humans have come," he shouted. "The Empire has come. Fight with me, brothers and sisters. Today we take back our home." Thousands answered his call. They attacked Dren's soldiers from every direction. They broke down the gates of the slave camps and freed the prisoners. They burned the symbols of Dren's false kingdom. Helena watched the uprising from orbit and felt pride fill her chest. These people had suffered so much. They had been betrayed and abandoned, but they had never lost hope. They had believed that someday justice would come. She ordered her Marines to land near the palace. Major David Torres led the assault team. He was a large man with a shaved head and scars on his face from a dozen battles. His soldiers were the best in the fleet. They moved through Dren's defenses like ghosts, killing mercenaries and freeing prisoners as they went. Dren tried to escape. He ran through the tunnels beneath his palace, surrounded by his personal guards. He carried bags filled with gold and jewels, treasures he had stolen from the people he was supposed to protect. He thought he could reach a hidden ship and fly to safety. He was wrong. Major Torres found him in the tunnel. The Proconsul's guards raised their weapons, but the Marines were faster. Gunfire echoed through the stone corridor. When the smoke cleared, Dren's guards were dead, and the Proconsul was on his knees, crying like a child. "Please," he begged. "I can give you anything. Gold, power, anything you want." Major Torres looked at him with disgust. "The only thing I want," he said, "is to see you face justice for what you have done." He placed Dren in restraints and dragged him to the surface. The liberation of Calith Prime took 3 days. The Imperial forces worked with the Calithian rebels to hunt down the remaining mercenaries. Medical teams landed to treat the wounded and sick. Engineers began repairing the damage that Dren had caused over 15 years of tyranny. Admiral Tanaka walked through the streets of the capital city on the 3rd day. The Calithians watched her with wonder. Many of them had never seen a human who came in peace. They had only known the cruelty of Dren and his followers. But the Admiral smiled at them and spoke words of comfort. "We failed you," she said to a gathering of survivors. "We sent a man to protect you, and he became your tormentor. I cannot undo the pain he caused. I cannot bring back those who were lost. But I promise you this: we will never abandon you again. From this day forward, Calith Prime will be protected by the full power of the Terran Empire. And anyone who tries to harm you will face the same fate as Marcus Dren. The trial happened 6 months later. Dren was brought before the High Council in chains. He tried to defend himself. He claimed he had done what was necessary to maintain order. He claimed the Calethians were dangerous and needed to be controlled. He blamed everyone except himself. No one believed him. The evidence was overwhelming. Thousands of witnesses testified against him. The data files proved his guilt beyond any doubt. The council found him guilty of crimes against humanity and crimes against the citizens of the Empire. He was executed at dawn on the day of the verdict. On Calith Prime, the people celebrated. Calethians and humans danced together in the streets. They shared food and stories. They mourned the dead and celebrated the living. Old Sarek spoke at the memorial ceremony for those who had been killed. "We have learned something important," he said. "We have learned that power without honor is poison. We have learned that trust must be earned. But we have also learned that there are good people in this universe. People who will fight for justice. People who will cross the stars to save strangers they have never met. The Terran Empire did not abandon us. They came when we called. And we will never forget that." Alana Vance stood at the back of the ceremony and listened. She thought about the journey that had brought her here. She thought about the battles and the lives lost. She thought about Dren and his betrayal. The Empire was not perfect. It made mistakes. It trusted the wrong people sometimes. But when it learned of those mistakes, it acted. It sent its ships and soldiers to make things right. It held its own accountable for their crimes. That was what separated the Terran Empire from the tyrants of the galaxy. That was what made humanity worthy of the stars. The Resolute left Calith Prime the following week. Helena stood on the bridge and watched the planet grow smaller in the view screen. A new Proconsul had been appointed, a woman named Sarah Chun, who had spent her career building bridges between species. She would be watched carefully. Everyone would be watched more carefully from now on. The message had come through the old channels. "He is killing us. Please help." And humanity had answered.